The highly anticipated Panasonic S5 has finally been released, and there are many reviews coming out on this camera already. Some of these YouTubers have had this camera for over a month now, and they've done a great job in the reviews. But there's a few things that I think many of them have missed, so let's check it out. The Panasonic Lumix S5 is an awesome camera at an awesome price, and honestly, as a Panasonic S1 user, which is what I'm filming on now, I'm a little bit jealous of the features that this camera offers because it's much cheaper than what my S1 was, and yet it offers pretty much all the same features when it comes to video specs and things like that, but at a much cheaper price and a much smaller form factor. A lot of YouTubers have put their videos out and they have done a great job in their reviews. They've had the camera for a long time, and I wish that I was able to do a complete in-depth review like that, but unfortunately Panasonic doesn't send me their cameras in advance. So I was looking at all the specs and features of this camera and just looking at Panasonic's releases and their articles about this camera, and there's a few things that I noticed that I didn't see in a lot of the reviews, so I thought I'd do this just really quick video for you guys to let those of you who are interested in this camera know that this is something that is scheduled to come out for this camera. So I was on Panasonic's website looking at the announcement and the news article for this camera and just kind of scrolling through the features and the specs and things like that, and there was nothing, you know, exceptional that really stood out to me because the specs have kind of been leaked out there for a little while. But as I was scrolling down, I did notice in this section about future enhancements, and so I started reading it, and it said to further enhance its performance, a firmware update is scheduled for the Lumix S5 by the end of 2020. In addition to C4K, which is Cinema 4K video recording, the update will support raw video data output to the Atomos Ninja 5 over HDMI at a resolution of 5.9K. So this camera is going to be capable of producing 5.9K video, and it's going to do it in ProRes RAW at 12-bit with unlimited record time. That's a really small camera, and the Ninja 5 is a pretty small external monitor that can record 5.9K ProRes RAW in 12-bit. That makes this camera exceptional at its price, and the cool thing about Panasonic is that they always offer free updates. They're not paid updates to where you have to spend money to get these features, but they just unlock these features on their cameras. ProRes RAW is something that Atomos has been pushing for a while now to get out there in the market, and it's slowly been coming to a lot of cameras. But that puts this small Panasonic Lumix S5 on par with some of the much bigger, more expensive cameras, and the capability that offers is amazing at its price point. Now, again, as a Panasonic S1 user, that kind of leaves me stumped a little bit. I saw Gerald Undun's video where he was saying that it's a strange camera because he feels that they are going to be cannibalizing the Panasonic S1 and basically, you know, just leaving the S1 behind. But knowing Panasonic, I really don't think that that's going to happen. I've been a Panasonic user for quite some time now, and you know, I've seen their history of their updates and things like that they perform. And so I found another article, I'll show you guys here, where Panasonic announces new firmware update program for the Lumix S1, S1H, and S1R. Now, they don't say a whole lot in this article. They basically just talk about how they're going to be adding 5.9 or 5K video to the S1R to take the making the most of the high resolution image sensor, and then they talk about adding the new improved autofocus system to the S1 and the S1R and the S1H. But I have a strong feeling that they're not just going to stop there, because the S5 has the same sensor as the S1, and the S1 is got better cooling system and stuff like that in it. But if it's got the same sensor, pretty much all the same technology, I don't see why they would not update the S1 to have ProRes RAW in it. And so I really think that that's something that will be coming to the S1, and probably the S1R as well. The S1H already has ProRes RAW, which took a little while to get it, but I also think that's maybe one of the reasons why they're not just announcing it for the S1 and maybe the S1R, because they took a little bit longer than expected with the S1H, and that did make quite a few people mad because they purchased the camera thinking that's something that's going to come pretty quickly. But with this, they're just saying they're going to add new functionality and new usability by the end of 2020. So let me know what you think about this new camera. Are you excited about the S5 and what it's capable of? What do you think about being able to shoot 5.9K RAW 12-bit in ProRes at $2,000? I think that's pretty awesome. I would be excited to have one of those cameras right now. But let me know what you think. If you found this video helpful, please help me out and hit that thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.